So hello and welcome to Active Ideas. This is the Instinct 2X Solar. This is the tactical edition and it's coming in this awesome coyote tan color. I absolutely love this watch. This watch is roughly a year old now, so it's one of Garmin's most beloved watches and lots of people, especially those in the military, love this watch. Now, if you've been keeping your ear to the ground, you know that the Instinct 3 is probably coming soon. And it's obvious they were always going to bring out the next model, but what can you expect to see in that? We're going to dive into all of that in this video. And before we start, I'm just going to set the record straight. This isn't a rumors and leaks channel. You're not going to get pixelated images from a Chinese factory on this video. This is going to be actual realistic and useful information of what you can expect in the Garmin Instinct 3 coming soon. And just so you know, this is a surprise at the end, so make sure you watch all the way through to see which I think is going to be the massive, the big feature that we should all wait for. So number one things that you can expect to see in the Garmin Instinct 3X and the new Instinct models is increased memory.
Why not call your local for a demonstration of what this remarkable new calculator can do for you?
Welcome back to the 1990s, kids, because this watch only has 64 megabytes of memory. It's why when people say, has this got music storage on it? No. Has it got maps on it? Proper maps? No. Can it do much? Not really. What it does do, it does fantastically. But I think in order for Garmin to take the Instinct 3 to that next level, we need increased memory. So you should be able to store roughly, I would say 400 to 550 sport activities on this Instinct 2X. So yeah, that sounds great. But what happens when you put the Garmin software on here and you start storing your saved locations and your coordinates and your maps and where your tent was and where the next military mission is? You start to fill up this watch really quickly and you're not going to get that much memory on it. And yes, it's great that it has almost infinite battery life on this watch, but you're going to hit that memory limitation probably before you hit that battery life limitation. If you're really pushing this watch to the limits, you're in the military, you don't have access to a charging point for 6 months or your phone for 6 months, you're probably going to hit your memory limit quicker than you are your battery limit with this watch. So I think in order for Garmin to improve this watch, memory is coming on the Instinct 3. Hold me to it. Number two things that are coming to the Garmin Instinct 3, and I think military personnel are going to love this, and it's going to be improved GPS. And this already has fantastic GPS, if not one of the best GPS devices that you can get out there on the sports market at the moment. But one limitation that it does have, and you'll see this in the top of the range like Tactic models and the Fenix 8, it doesn't have SatIQ. It doesn't have Auto-Select GPS, and that can have implications. You don't want to be messing around with your GPS settings whilst you're on a mission, whilst you're on an ultra run. I've had experiences with Garmin where I'm up in the mountains, you're in dense trees, there's a grey cloud above you, it's thunder and lightning, and you're at elevation, so maybe you're near cliffs and things, and big rock boulders. You can start to hit the GPS limitations quite quickly, and yes, you can force this watch into multi-band mode, and again, that is fantastic. This watch I bought for $300. That's unbelievable. $300, and you're getting one of the best GPS devices out there at the moment. So hold me to it. I really do think you're going to see SatIQ Auto-Selection GPS, which is currently a Garmin premium feature in the Instinct 3. It's going to be really cool. Number three things that you're going to see in the Garmin Instinct 3 coming hopefully soon is touchscreen. What does that mean? When you're scrolling through this interface, you're using the buttons. What's great about the touchscreen is that when you're going through the widgets and you're scrolling through your data, the barometer, the altimeter, you can use your finger and get through that interface really quick. And obviously you don't have to use touchscreen. If it's crapping down with rain and you're in -6 degrees temperature, turn the touchscreen off and you won't have any issues with it. Touchscreen is great, especially for mapping. So number four things that's going to come to the Instinct 3 is the flashlight. And you might be thinking, guys and girls, how has he got a flashlight? Well, this is the Instinct 2X military version, so this is called the tactical version. The casing here is 50 millimeters. Ladies, as you know, size matters, and if you have small wrists like I do, having this massive 50 millimeter watch on your wrist can be a bit of an issue. But the thing is, if you go smaller in size, you're going to lose out on this fantastic flashlight feature. This torch, I've got it in like low power mode here. You can have it super bright, you can have it low power mode, which will have lots of battery life, and you also have in this tactical version this really cool green light to preserve things like night vision. And I don't know if you're into hunting, stuff like Joe Rogan and Cameron Haynes style, you want that kind of green light not to kind of scare off animals. So I think we're going to get in smaller Garmin Instinct 3 sizes, you're going to get a flashlight hopefully on all of them. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Number five things that I really do hope come to the Instinct 3 are music storage. Now we talked about memory increases in that last section, and what that's going to allow for, one of those things is music storage. So you're going to be able to get hopefully Spotify, YouTube Music, your Amazon Music, and I think that's great again for for people who are looking to do like hiking, I don't know, when you want to get your head down and actually enjoy your life a little bit, not having to rely on a phone to play music. You can have it off here to play a track, just 5 minutes of a track, and it'll get me back to my baseline. Then I can continue hiking along the Appalachian Trail. Whatever it is, I think music storage is going to come to the next Instinct. So number 6 things that you can expect is obviously a redesign in casing. Now, it's slightly unfortunate. I have seen some of the leaks. I don't know how official they are. Feel free to scour the internet to check out the Instinct 3, but I really like this Instinct 2X, and like, look how good this watch is. It's absolutely fantastic. It's got a good color to it. We're a bit cloudy today, so it's sucking some of the color out in the camera here. And if you're in the military, check out the Pre-Prepared Airman guy, who's awesome, great channel, and you can see him wearing full gear. How cool this watch looks when you're like dressed up in your gear, in your outfits. This really suits the environment. This looks the freaking part, man. I hope they don't go too toyish and too weird with the redesign. I've seen some scary photos, but maybe some of those things that we can expect in the redesign is a change in the screen size. Wait for the next section for that one. So number 7 things that they're going to bring, hopefully, to the Instinct 3 is improved battery life. Now you might be asking, Kingsley, the Instinct 2X Solar, this has infinite battery life, but I do think there's room for improvement. If you are looking to use GPS, those tracking features, those ABC, compass, altimeter, barometer features, you can get that battery down fairly quickly. It's still going to probably last quite a few weeks, months, maybe 6 months, who knows. But hopefully improved battery life means that we're going to have more solar efficiency. Again, we'll get onto that screen size change in the Instinct 3 in the next section. But again, size matters, and hopefully you guys who pick the smaller casing size, you won't have to compromise things like the flashlight, but also that infinite battery life. So hopefully they bring infinite battery life to more of those smaller models, increase the capabilities of this big watch, and fingers crossed bring solar to all Instinct 3s. So number 8 things that they need to bring to the Instinct 3, and this is massive, is improved sleep tracking. Now, Garmin sleep tracking is good, and on the Instinct 2 they have advanced sleep tracking. But what really is advanced? Because on every other good Garmin watch they have napping detection, sleep coach, all of these things that are interacting with each other. Now, you're not going to get nap detection on the Instinct 2X, and I think that's such a massive pitfall. And if they hold that restriction, and believe me, Garmin have been known to restrict features to their premium watches. Thing is, this is advertised and marketed towards military personnel, people who are getting the most out of life outdoors, and people who get the most of life outdoors, especially those military, aren't sleeping 10 hours a night. And that's what this watch expects you to do. If you've got like sleeping hygiene issues, or you don't have the opportunity to sleep 10 hours a night, and you adopt more of like a nap sleep cycle, so get a couple of hours sleeping in this bush here, I'm gonna hike 10K up there, dodge everyone that I need to dodge, and then get another couple of hours to catch up on my sleep. The Garmin's not going to be able to do that. Some Garmin's can. So the Fenix 8 can detect naps. It feeds it into all of your data, your stress, your training readiness, you know, whatever you're trying to track. It's all kind of fed into each other. You can't detect naps on the Instinct 2X, and I think that's massive. So number 9 things that hopefully they're going to bring to the Instinct 3 is an increased screen size. Now, this watch that I'm wearing is the 50mm casing, which is massive. It's one of the biggest watches that Garmin do, and here's what it looks like against the Garmin Enduro 3. This is a big watch, but how big is the screen? It's 1.1 inches, and from what I've heard on the streets, 1.1 inches is not a big screen size. So the benefits of this 1.1 inch screen is that you're going to get quite a good solar panel on there, so that's one reason why we're getting such good battery life on this watch. But I do think and hope that that bezel can be reduced just a little bit. It doesn't need to be as thick as it is. I think you can still maintain durability by reducing that bezel size. What that will mean is you can increase the screen, but what it also means is you can increase the solar panel, so we get even more infinite battery life if we're using this watch heavily. Things like when you're using that mapping and navigational features on this watch, it can feel, in my opinion, a little bit claustrophobic and just like a little bit hard to read at times, especially when you're like heavily into data. If you've got a lot of data on the screen, it's all getting squished into quite a small area, so it just like will improve the whole experience basically. Now, number 10, the one thing I've been holding from you guys is maps. With a bigger screen, with bigger memory and a touch screen, what does that all call for? It calls for maps. And what better watch to put that on one of their military watches, a watch that's marketed towards people who love the outdoors. But look at what Sunto can do with a memory and pixel and black and white interface. This is called the high contrast map, and it's one of my favorite maps. I know some review channels at the time didn't seem to be massive fans of the high contrast maps, but to me, I loved it. I think if you need to save battery life, or if you need to have mapping that's really clear, there were massive implications specifications of having the high contrast, memory and pixel, black and white maps. It's fantastic, and if they bring that to the Instinct 3X, that watch is gonna break the market. Like, it's gonna change the game. Like, so many people, especially married to it, it'll just become the watch to buy. So stay tuned. Hopefully Garmin bring mapping with all those other features to the Instinct 3, and what a fantastic watch that would be. If you enjoyed this video, please give it some love. Hopefully Garmin will see it and will bring more of these dreams and desires to reality. I do think this watch is probably coming soon by the looks of things, but who knows? Only Garmin know. I don't have any inside information, and again, I'm not one of those channels. I'm just here, a fan, a bit of fun. I've been testing this watch for a while now. The Instinct 2X has been out for a year, and the Instinct series, like the 2 series, has been out for ages as well. So we're due an upgrade, and hopefully we see some of these features brought to the watch. I've been Kingsley from Active Ideas, and peace out. Dreams are a step away, and remember, show compassion, show esteem, and have fun out there. Peace out.